Halfdan, Renate, good to see you both. Welcome to Popternative.
Hello.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. This film is fantastic. Halfdan, congratulations. Seriously, like directorial writing debut. It's amazing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so happy for you both. I kind of want to know, like, there's always going to be that first kind of idea of something, right? Before writing the script. What was that with Armand specifically for you?
The first seed of the idea was the character actually that Renate plays. So she was living in me for a few years. And then we did a short film together, me and Renate, and it was only like 2 shooting days, but it was a really, really strong creative, chemistry between us. And I understood then, and we felt that we have to do something bigger one day, and this was obviously it. And I asked Renate if she wanted to play this character. I didn't know, which universe or which film she was going to be in, but I kind of knew the traits of the character. And then it evolved, and I heard this story about 2 6-year-old boys on a camping trip, and something like similar had happened. And I've been working in a primary school myself, and then the idea kind of grew up from that.
Absolutely. And it's interesting to kind of add to that, Renate. I want to ask you, because that script to screen, journey is really interesting, right? Because you get this script and then you actually go and film it and see it come to life. And a lot can happen before you go to camera. So what was that like for you, specific on this project, reading the script and then filming it and seeing it come to life on screen?
Yeah, well, because it took so long to get money, we had a lot of time to talk about her, and like because we became really good friends, so we would always like have a little conversation about her and traits and how to do this and what if we could do this, and like ideas would pop out. And I think a part of it is, of course, before shooting, I sit with the script alone, and then I create possibilities to be very flexible on set. But I think she was very clear in the script, and just trying to find a lot of what is it called, like opponents, no, like contrasts,
yeah.
And just search for that very like analytically. I love to do that. And then just we had a lot of fun in the pain of her on set.
No, absolutely. Well, it's interesting, Halfdan, because the big thing about this movie that kind of, and it's a credit to you and your amazing writing and your directing, is the tension just continues on. And you're watching this as kind of an audience member, and there's just nonstop tension, right? So I'm wondering, like, in regards to, writing the tension and then seeing it, and then filming it, what were some kind of, preparation or mindsets with, like, just making sure the tension was always in Armand specifically?
I think for the tension to be like that, I have to give a lot of credits to the actors, to be honest, and also the filming, and because we wanted to make a quite of a claustrophobical, film, and also the actors did a really, really good job on the characters, so they really knew their place in the room. Everybody knew their place really well, and they knew what was at stakes for them personally. So especially like Renate and Ellen, who plays the other mother, always could use like tiny little things to just like keep this persistent tension going. Everything, it was a minefield, everything could be wrong. And everything that was said was something that was perceived in a bad way, maybe from the others. And also this kind of dramatic tension between the mothers, I think it was really funny to contrast that with the more like comedic almost, tension and uncomfortableness from the school system. So you got the 2 layers of tension there.
Absolutely. So Renate, I do have to say, and I typically with my interviews, I don't usually ask about certain scenes or plots, because I like people going in fresh, because that's just how it is, right? Like, I ask about the craft because I'm a filmmaker as well, so I always ask about how things are made. But I do have to ask you about one scene. And I'm wondering if you're going to think about what scene I'm going to talk about. But I need to talk... I need to talk about, this laughing scene is insane. Like, oh my goodness, you know what I mean? Like, I can't believe this scene, how long it is, and that laugh. I need to know, like, did you try out different laughs and like talk to Halfdan about that? Was it like a lot longer like filming than what we see? Was it short? Tell me about that scene specifically. Like that's insane.
Yeah, it's a lot to talk about, but no, it's just like a couple of lines in the script. Like she laughs for a long time and then she breaks down.
Yeah.
And that it lasts too long, but that as an actress, it's an impossible task, both to laugh for that long and have the transition into grief for that long. So I knew the only way to do it was, well, we didn't rehearse anything.
No.
But I just knew I needed to actually lose control. And that is very hard because the human body don't want to do that ever. So we did it for 10 hours and that was the plan because we needed coverage of course, everyone. And then I got the opportunity during that day to actually get more and more into losing control. And then eventually when we kind of had it, we could build on top of that and get different versions. And then you could also stretch the scene to that length because you had, with the editor, you had kind of the dynamic to tell a story in the laughter. So, so it's a big cooperation, a big teamwork to...
One of the craziest scenes of a film I've seen in a while. And people are really talking about that. Oh my goodness. It's credit to you. You're incredible, Renate. Seriously.
Thank you so much.
Halfdan, I mean, you directed that. She said a lot. I mean, could you like comment on that a little bit of that laughing scene?
Yeah, I mean, we knew it was going to be a crazy day. I was really like nervous about, the laughing that was so important that it felt real. But already from take one, I saw that this is going to work because Renate, she's just like amazing. She told me also that she, in her analyze, built this bridge from the word measurement, which is something that's being said a lot of times in the scene, to something that she find funny. And for me, that was quite amazing. So every time she heard the word measurement, I don't know how you did it, but then you started laughing. And also what I'm really like so impressed by Renate in this scene is how she kind of built the escalation of the laughter. The structure of the laughter, we have stretched it a little bit in the editing, but the main structure is really Renate's work, which she did over and over again in the very, very long day of shooting.
Absolutely. I have one more question for each of you quickly before we wrap up. Renate, I find it interesting, right? Because it's all storytelling at the end of the day, and it's like different worlds, different characters. But I'm just curious, you look at something like this film, it's very specific character breakdowns and everything. But I'm wondering how separate past projects that you've done are compared to something like this. Like, do you bring mindsets, preparations from past projects like Worst Person in the World or Presumed Innocent to something like Armand, or are they completely separate once you wrap them? I'm curious about that.
Yeah, they're very separate. And for me, it's important that the project allows the director's vision to stand the strongest in the project. So to follow both the aesthetic that the director wants and the story that he wants to tell and the way he wants to tell it, I thrive on like both going into that perspective and then develop it from there and then give resistance if I feel, oh, this would be fun for the characters or have some ideas. So it's but in the base, it's the script and the idea and the perspective that the director wants to, I don't know.
Yeah.
Visualize.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And then last question, Halfdan. I find it interesting. Filmmaking is troubleshooting and problem solving. That's what it is, right? Especially in indie films, right? So what was your mindset in regards to that, taking it day by day, where so much can kind of happen and there's a lot of things to figure out on the day, because you think you could do all the preparation you can, you know what I mean? But then a lot of things could happen. But like, what was that like for you in regards to that? Because that really is what filmmaking is, especially indie filmmaking.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy that. For me, the shooting is the most like enjoyable phase of the process, because then it's like we're so like in tune with each other, and this is also where, especially since I write myself also, this is where where I can see that something which has just been like ink on a paper coming alive through this great artists of actors and costume designers and cinematographer. So I get a lot of adrenaline, and of course there's problems happening, and you have to, but you are so like mindful almost when shooting films, because you are so in the moment of that line or that scene we are going to do. So every time a problems, and you don't have time to think about all the potential problems that may arise, or you do have time in the weekends. So that's why the weekends was the hardest for me and during the shoots. But while shooting, it's just like 1 second at a time, and that's also one of the reasons I really love making films. It's the only it's the only time in my life actually I'm able to be fully present and mindful in the moment.
And it's the coolest thing too to think about the fact that like every scene we see in Armand, like with the laughing scene and everything, the amount of kind of like conversations and so many things that kind of happen before like we see the final product, it's just remarkable. And like this film is incredible. So congrats to both of you. Thank you so much for your time, and I can't wait for people to see it via IFC Films. It was great chatting with you, Halfdan and Renate. Thank you so much.
Thank
You
so
too.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.